Hey, y'all know what it is. Y'all know who it is and where it is and all the kind of ises you can come up with. It is the morning run. Duce the Scoop, Big Dog, Chico, and yours truly, Uncle Neely. Checking in after the Delaware win. We got Houston coming up this weekend. We're going to talk Bills, Ravens, NFL, college football, Colorado on the morning run.
Look good. Actually, if you feel good, you look good. You look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. You play good, they pay good, and all the other good things. Thank you guys. Welcome into another episode of the Morning Run. Big Dog Chico, Uncle Neely. Might have some guests join us today. Duce the Scoop might even check in. We shall see. Whatever it is, we have you covered right here like your grandmother's blanket all along. Got to talk about some NFL matchups. Of course, Colorado going to Houston this week. Got a lot of questions there from the chat. Y'all make sure y'all get up in here and let us know what y'all think, caring about, and talking about. Put your city and your state in the chat, no matter where it is. East Coast to the far West Coast. It's Big Dog Chico and Uncle Neely checking in with you. What's up, Unc?
It's all good in the hood, man. Monday, as Chico likes to say, because every week is game week. It's game week, baby. Got to get up for it. Let's go.
Most definitely. Well, first of all, got to talk about a game last night with the Buffalo Bills coming back over the Ravens, getting that win right there. Something that you were on while we were doing Unc and Chico and the game finished. You was pretty surprised about that 41-40 victory for the Buffalo Bills on the field goal while the clock was running out. Thoughts on that ball game? You were able to watch it pretty much start to finish, I think, Unc. So what are your thoughts on that ball game?
Takeaways is the end of the game. I mean, you had the Ravens, if I'm not mistaken, up by 16 points at one point, and
Mm,
had 16 unanswered points for the Buffalo Bills to come back and win. They were playing in Buffalo. It's one of those games, man. These teams are so evenly matched, and the competition at the top of the AFC with the Kansas City Chiefs, Bills, and Ravens are so close. A game like this already has playoffs and home field advantage implications. So it was a big game. Got away from them. I still think though Teddy Bruschi said some comments, and I'm kind of in agreement with him. It's the little brother bowl because until one of them can consistently knock off the Kansas City Chiefs,
mm.
it is what it is, But it's the Ravens in Baltimore. It is the Bills in Buffalo. It is the Chiefs in Kansas City. One of them is going to produce, if not a Super Bowl winner or representative of the AFC, certainly going to produce an MVP candidate. So all these games matter right away.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what our main man Duke the Scoop got to think of thoughts about this game right here. Dukes,
Yo,
what's happening? Good
what's happening?
afternoon to you.
What's up,
Thank you
bro?
for joining. Thank you for joining the runners.
Thanks for having
That's for sure.
he,
Uh,
he
thoughts
said,
on
"Thanks for
the
having him." Like he a guest.
thoughts on the Bills game last night.
me.
Bills
Huh?
and Ravens. Thoughts
Man,
on the Bills and Ravens last night. Were you able to catch it? What are your thoughts on that? If you did,
yeah, it was crazy, unnecessary. We shouldn't be talking about the Bills. We should be talking about Lamar and them closing out the game. But for whatever reason, man, in them big games, they have problems closing them out.
Mhm.
It's like Derrick Henry was going crazy all game, and then the miraculous fumble. And you got probably one of on paper. Where is there a better defense in the NFL on paper? Every position you've got at the safety, Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, you got Jair Alexander as like a third corner, Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, Roquan Smith, probably the best inside linebacker in football, Mike Green, who was a second round draft pick, but should have been a first rounder as an edge rusher. I mean, you got talent all over that defense, and you still giving up 40. It's just something they got to figure that out because there's nothing else that you can do. You got plenty of talent. You got wide receivers everywhere. I mean, you got King Henry and you got the MVP or 2-time MVP. Did Lamar win the 2 or 3 times?
2.
2 times, and could have probably won the 4. He's been a candidate at least 4 times at quarterback, and you still lose. So they got to figure that one out.
I'm with you, Dukes. It's not only losing, you losing with 16 unanswered points given up. We all know in the game ain't over till the game is over. But the fashion you lost in, you had to be sitting there going, okay, we got this one. This is one step forward in us hosting that playoff game. This is one step forward, which is going to, if we're hosting, puts us in a better advantage to face the KFC or the Bills at home and then thereby go to the Super Bowl. Because you and I talk, Dukes, a couple of shows ago about what is this being for Lamar Jackson this year if he doesn't get there, if he keeps on being that MVP caliber guy but doesn't get a Super Bowl ring. So we pulling for him. We want it to happen, but once again, I was saying Chico before you hopped on, it still keeps on appearing to be the little brother bowl because even though the Chiefs lost, the Chiefs are still out there going for their 4th time appearance, and these two teams can't get over the hump, and then the Ravens can't get over the hump of the Bills. So it's going to be a very interesting December and January, the way it's going already.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, man.
Jeremiah.
I'm sure we'll see him a little bit later on. Probably they'll meet up in the playoffs also. Is that Jeremiah Brown you calling or a different Jeremiah?
Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Stay out of my business.
Okay. Well, you know what?
Don't punish me.
Oh,
Dukes, what's
he
up?
gonna say
How you doing?
something before I do. He know that.
You doing?
Don't punish me. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
What? I'm just on here trying to run the show. That's all.
And listen, you know Uncle Needham. I
I'm just
watched
trying to
y'all
run the
last
show.
night. So don't punish me. You got to fight your own battles, Chico.
Listen, man. When I fight, I plan to win. Travis Hunter, what do you think about his new haircut and debut, Dukes?
He got a nice haircut, Chico. What the question is, what did you think about it?
What did I think about it? I thought he was trying to everybody goes through that, I think, when they have their first kid. You know what I mean? They go through that stage of, you know what, I'm trying to be responsible. I'm going to be responsible. There's some things I might not need. Let me cut off the old baggage. Let me cut off the old let me be more mature looking and the whole nine. And I think that goes into play when you have your kid or so. That actually happened when I had my son. I cut my hair off at that time. But that's neither here nor there. But I feel like that he made that decision just to a grown up type decision. And
Now I knew. See, I know my cousin. I knew. See, you passed it to me, and then what I did, threw it out the backboard back. You dunked it. I never thought about it like that. That's so I didn't think about that perspective as far as being a new dad and a new beginning. So that's cool. So I appreciate that. I thought game wise, I thought he got plenty of run. I think as he gets used to the NFL and the offensive coordinator gets used to him as being a weapon, they'll find more ways to get him involved. But you don't spend a number 2 pick on the guy and don't give him every opportunity to be involved. Now, what was his final stats? He had 4 catches, I believe.
It was like 4 for 55. Let's see if I can pull him up. Like a 5-yard average. It wasn't much. Let me see. Could be wrong. Could be 6 for like. Let me see if I can pull him up. I mean, y'all can feel free to talk while I pull up the stat.
No, oh yeah, I was just waiting on the stat. My bad. Because if you pull up the stat and we talking about something else, then it'll be off.
6 for 33. That is a 5.5-yard average right there.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I think first of all, Sony's gonna catch the ball, and then they'll find other ways to get him involved for sure.
Yeah, and I think the defense keying on him also not to let him get loose because they know how explosive and elusive he is once he catches the ball. So I think they wanted to, for one, the Jags wanted to get him the ball on some high percentage type throws and catches and see if he can make some plays after that, yards after the catch. But I think the defense really keying on that. And like you said, they'll figure out different ways to get him the ball, crossing routes, going deep, just different ways. And I also think he'll play a little bit more on defense as he gets comfortable. I think he had 45 total snaps, and 39 on offense. So he'll be fine. Good debut for the new father, Travis Hunter.
No, for sure. What you think?
I think he's already solidified in rare air. Not only where he was drafted at, the contract negotiation with a young money deal for him, with so much of that being upfront and guaranteed cash. And then when you look at this, man, they've been playing professional football, for a number of years, number of decades, 100 years. And I bet you it's still a short list of people that have receptions and tackles in the same game. And so once he got one catch and one tackle, he's already in a place that very few people go to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to Haircut Trav. Well, also let's bring it back to the CU Buffs up in Boulder, where everything is colder, not just weather-wise, but had 3 QBs playing in the ball game this past week, Duke. A lot of people are now questioning who would be the starting quarterback going into conference play at Houston this Friday. Um, just overall thoughts on the ball game, and then thoughts on the quarterback situation at Colorado, Duke.
Shoot. Man, you got 3 quarterbacks that can play. I know a lot of times people say if you got more than one quarterback, you don't have one. But it looks like you got 3. I think that if you leave any one of those quarterbacks in the game, give them an adequate script and allow them to get in rhythm, that you can be successful with all 3. I think right now, when you look at who had the best performance of that game, if you're looking at the small sample sizes, you got to look at Ryan Staub as probably being the most productive quarterback based on what he did. 7 out of 10. He almost had like a perfect passer rating, 2 touchdowns, 170 yards, and enough confidence to basically call his own shot and send Sincere Brown on the fly 2 times. So, I made a joke about it, like where I said, hey man, you can't count his stats until he throws a bubble, right? And that was really tongue in cheek to say, all right, well, these are staples of the Colorado offense. But what it told me was that Matt Staub already knew what he wanted to do script wise. Because I believe Pat Shermer also said he told him what he wanted to run. Now, I don't know if Pat Shermer actually ran what he wanted to run, but I'll say just sometimes that allows the team to kind of rally around you. It's like the backup point guard who comes in and throws the alley-oop instead of making the bounce pass. And sometimes the team gets excited about that. So I think based on his sample size, I think he's probably got the hot hand. But that could change anytime. I think Caden Salter, his completion percentage was like 82% or something like that, crazy. And then I think Julian Lewis, I can't really say that he performed poorly. I just felt like the script didn't favor him in that moment. But based on all things being equal, Staub had the best game.
Nice. 1, 2.
You got to say my name.
Well, my thoughts on this 31-7 victory. I think it was pretty good victory to go into, especially in that first half when you don't have any penalties. I think Uncle Neely was one of the guys that emphasized that last week and talked about how Coach Prime, really harped on that. We got to be disciplined. And to go into halftime with 0 penalties to finish the game with only 4 penalties for 40 yards, that's something to build off of right there. Now you're going to look at it from the defensive side and say, we got to we got to be better at tackling. We can't be having so many missed tackles in this thing. I think it was double-digit tackles from this past ball game. We didn't have that many in the first ball game, and like I said before, I think it was just more to fit the first ball game. So it's things that you can build off of, as far as the quarterback situation goes. Like you said, you have 3 guys who can really play, but I still think going into conference play, you're going to go with the guy who was your starter, the last couple games, and the guy that has the most experience going into that game. If he struggles, then you know that you can bring in a guy like Staub who's ready to go off the bench with no problem. I think if you go in there with Staub this is just my opinion. I think if you go in there with Staub as the starter, I think it sets it up a little bit different than if Salter goes in as the starter and he struggles and you bring in Stop. So I think Coach Prime would go in there with that same mindset and plan of having Salter as a starter. I could be wrong, but we'll see on Friday, and we'll go from there and just play it from there. If he plays well, he stays in. If he doesn't, then we got a guy who can come in and play well. That's already been proven.
Yeah, absolutely. Uncle Neely, I'm pass you the ball. What's your opinion?
I just like what I've seen. One, let me give a shout out to the brilliant mind of Coach Deion Sanders, the head coach of this operation. I don't think there is a quarterback situation. I think there was a opportunity to display the talent that you had in the quarterback room, and he sees that with this game, and it puts Houston in a position you got to prepare for three people. And I don't know about Chico and his brilliant mind or Dukes and his stellar aptitude, but trying to learn one thing is difficult enough. You try to learn three things, something gonna fall off the table. So to put somebody in a position in a short week where they saw three talented quarterbacks hit the field and they have no idea which one is gonna come out that tunnel to start Friday, what an advantageous situation to put your team in. Having said all that, I think Stahl's performance, was one that wowed the fans and wowed the crowd and got the team rallied behind him. But when you look at the totality of spring ball, summer one, summer two, fall camp, and you compare that sample size as you put it, Dukes, you got to go with the sample size that you've seen. And you can't erase 4 weeks of fall camp leadership, 8 weeks of summer one, summer two, 6 weeks of spring ball with a performance against Delaware. As stellar as that performance was, yeah, you still have to go with. And I should have called him down here. You still have to go with, what has got you here, what you saw, because the sample size again is so small. But what a great, unique opportunity to be in. Because you're right, Dukes. The old adage is, if you got more than one, you ain't got none. But that adage was coined before the transfer portal. That adage was stated before the days of NIL. That adage was stated before every game is on TV. Now the adage is everybody you got on your roster that's damn talented is going to get an opportunity to see that field, no matter what football 101 book says. You got to toss out the manual when you started paying players. You got to toss out the manual when you started having players who could transfer at nauseum, at will, if you will. And so now what you see is when a coach has people depth at a particular position, that depth is showcased. That depth gets opportunity. We do it at linebacker. You do it at tight end. You do it at corner. You got enough talent here now. You can do it at quarterback, and what it does, it puts your opponents in a position. They got to watch more film. They got to prepare more. They got to study more. They got to be ready for any and everything because you don't know what's going to come out of that tunnel. Coach Prime knows what's going to come out of that tunnel, but Houston don't.
Absolutely. I just wanted to add to that. If all things being said, if Star really called the fly route for Sincere Brown, I don't know if anybody else has done that. But if he introduced that into the game, and now the other quarterbacks decide, you know what, I'm checking out too, or I'm checking to this route too. We just don't know.
No, and I can tell you if you ask me.
Have other quarterbacks done that?
They have the authority to do that. I mean, that has been in Pat Shermer's blueprint, if you will. If you see something, go for it. Now the accountability factor is there as well. You see something, go for it, and you're wrong, we're gonna have a chat. Because
Right.
this is the play, and Chico knows he played offense most of the time. And when I say most, I mean damn near every time. Your play is called before the defensive formation is set. So you
Mhm.
go out there with a play, and then what does the quarterback do? He looks at the play clock. He looks for the safety. He looks who's his man. That linebacker, if you will. All right, get him. Oh, we got single high to the other side. That's 1-on-1 right here. Let me check out of that. They all have that authority, and sometimes there are plays that are successful and it was something they checked to, but the world just don't know that they checked to it. Sometimes there are failures, and the world don't know that they check to it, but they check to it. It's like an internal thing, and with the Staub situation, the world got to see it because it was discussed post game. But believe you me, every quarterback we've had here, Shador, when Staub is backing up Shador, Salter, Juju, they know when they see something, they can go to it.
This
That's
is
great.
Staub's what year being in the meeting room with Coach Pat Shermer?
Be third by my count.
This will be the third year, and he was in there with Shador Sanders. So he saw the interactions when Shador Sanders would come to the line and make those changes. He saw that Pat Shermer is okay with it as long as you're accountable for it, like you said. He knows that he's more comfortable, I think, with Pat Shermer. You know, it's kind of like when your cousins come to your house, right? You know, they like, hey, is mama gonna allow you to do it? Yeah, you could do that. She know she know you back here doing this. You're like, I don't know. And I think that's kind of like with the new quarterbacks right now. They're still learning that the OC is okay with you making those checks when you see it. And I think Staub came in there, you know, just being comfortable with the OC and seeing what Shador did last year and knowing that I can make these checks and I could trust what I see out here. And the OC is gonna be okay with that. And I think he came out there and did that, demonstrated that, and I think Salter will learn that I can be okay with trusting my eyes and doing the same thing also.
I still want to underscore something. Just because the world don't know something doesn't mean it's not taking place.
Right.
So just because we don't know Salter checked out of this doesn't mean Salter hadn't checked out of something.
Exactly.
That,
You know,
that,
and
that was my
so
point. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't want us to assume just because we know Staub did it that is evidence that nobody else has done it.
Right.
Like like the world was just put in a privy situation, a unique situation against a Delaware opponent where a third guy goes in and you see and learn this kind of information and to share with you via press conferences. But it is such a normal thing. It ain't getting shared in the future. Like it is a byproduct of how this offense operates. You know, you'll hear Coach Prime in the pregame speeches and Coach Sherman echoing it. Hey, if you see something, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just it really is. The statement is just that simple. If you see it, believe it, go for it. And when I talk to Coach Prime, like literally where I'm sitting right now in the Thunder shoot, Staub didn't do anything that he hadn't seen in practice, which is why Staub got the opportunity to go out there. And
Right.
just because the world is now saw it, inside, no one's acting like it's new.
Mm-hmm.
NEW, because inside everybody KNEW, they already knew. Like you've seen Staub do it, you've seen Juju do it, you've seen Salter do it. That's why you have a unique situation of three quarterbacks that, when needed, when called upon, when the situation could arise, you don't know who to prepare for. What a fortunate situation to be in or to put your opponent in, because now they got to do more homework, more preparation, more study, et cetera, et cetera. I love it.
Yeah, I didn't see a perfect performance from anybody. And I think even Staub was very close to throwing the pick. Now I know they say if was a fifth, but he came.
Shit, no, I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you, man, here's the biggest thing I give my tip of the captain Staub was the ability to calm himself. I think we forget first pass batted down. Second pass against another defense, that is a pick six. So that ball hit that guy right in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason he missed it. He was already trying to go with it, and we're having a totally different conversation. So, you know, shout out to Ryan Staub for being in that situation, being okay. Woosah, like Martin used to do with the years. Let me gather myself. All right, I see somebody like, let me switch to that and let me go for it. Hats off to that, because most people would have been so rattled at, damn, I almost messed up, that they wouldn't have been able to regain that composure and do what they're capable of.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when you
And
got
one more thing to that, Dukes. You know, because I know people want to create this controversy, this situation, or this cloud of doubt of who the quarterback is, which there is no doubt in Coach Prime's mind and the way it operates around here, because he's seen these three quarterbacks, you know, all summer long. So just like he said in the press conference, when they asked him what he's going to do, he said, "Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm just not telling you." You know,
Mhm.
so you know he knows his plan, and he knew he wanted to do that plan for this particular game. But the one thing I want to point out as we look at the success of Ryan Staub had, and what a great game, what a wonderful testimony to being ready for your moment and maximize that moment. Did we forget Salter went 6 for 6 on the scoring drive?
Yeah.
6 for 6 was a pretty damn high percentage. I think it's called 100%.
Yeah, I think overall he was over 80%, if I'm not mistaken, completion wise. Now some of the ones that he missed, it was like, why did he, he's not, nobody's perfect. And that's what I said. Nobody had a perfect game. I think that, you got three options that are viable. You could have easily made a case to say that Kate Salters just stayed in the game. Like nobody would have had a problem if Caden Salter never took a break from the game. We have no idea what he would have looked like coming back in on his second reappearance in the game if he plays the whole game and Juju gets the series at the end. We have no idea how that looks. So, but I think for the I think now if I'm guessing what Coach Prime is thinking, I want to put people in pressure situations where I feel like I have a little control. And that was to go into a one-score game for both quarters. Everybody got the opportunity to be in a one-score game. Salter did, Lewis did, and Staub did. All three of them got the opportunity to be in a one-score game. And only one person, and I would say Caden Salter put points up when he was out there too. So let's not make it like Caden
That's
Salter
my
just
point.
had a they I don't want to make it like Caden Salter had a terrible game. And usually when stuff like that happens, you don't lose a position because somebody got hot. Now, I'm not saying that's not what's going to happen. But 9 times out of 10, like if you got a guy who's starting and another guy gets hot, you don't automatically lose it. I'm just saying that I felt like if you look who had the best game last game, which was the question Chico originally asked me, I felt like Staub had the best game because of the fireworks that he put up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why he was at the post game press conference.
For
That's why he
sure.
was interviewed post game on the field. Like there's literally no denying that because of the magnitude of the moment and him being in the third spot doing it. Like you have to tip your cap, that way. But again, when you talk about Duke's that sample size portion of it, this was 3 series versus Delaware when you've had a complete spring and a summer and a fall to evaluate things. But here's another thing that people externally, don't get to see how teams operate. And I'm not talking about just this team, Chico. I'm talking about any team, including yours at UAB. There's nothing like getting Chico going. Now, Chico's going now. Don't get me wrong. Chico got 98% on his pants. There's nothing like getting Chico going than giving Chico's understudy some reps, and that understudy performs doing those reps. What you think Chico gonna do next time? He either finna raise up or he gonna fold. And either one, you got your information. And all of this stuff is about gathering information as early as you can in the season so that you know who you can trust when you really get into conference play in the back of the season. And so no matter which way you measure, that's why I'm just going back to my earlier statement. Man, the brilliance of Coach Deion Sanders as the head coach, Coach Prime, and knowing this situation and grabbing it by the horns and doing it during this game to create this atmosphere like this is manufactured. This is not a situation. What you have Chico out there, that almost tsunami, that was a situation. When you call up 3 girls and both of them say yes, and you get to decide which one you're gonna really show up for, that's manufactured, dog. Like ain't nobody attacked you. Like you created that opportunity for yourself. And so what you're seeing here unfold, I love it. Because again, Houston right now is Monday in Texas, just like it's Monday here. And they saw Saturday, and they got half of their GAs working on Salter, another half working on this, and another half working on that.
And I
And
think that's probably
anytime you can do that,
yeah. That's one of the biggest things to come that you can take away from this is that Houston now has to prepare for 3 different guys, and they don't know who's going to come at them, and that takes away time from preparing for the one guy that you have to
mhm.
prepare for. So yeah, great strategy right there. I feel like for Coach Prime going into this ball game, especially if you know exactly who you're going to go with, if you know your exact plan and they don't know who to plan for, then I feel like you're at an advantage right there going into a great
Chico,
game.
I hate to compare oranges to watermelons or pineapples to cinder blocks, but y'all ever heard of the Prince and J Sets, Sonny Boom and South Dance team?
Mhm.
Let me tell you what I love about the Prince and J Sets, Dukes. Not only what's obvious to love,
Okay.
I'm talking about from an organizational standpoint.
I like the
So you
organization
try out,
too.
you try out in the spring, right? And you make the squad. All right. This is who's gonna be the Prince and J Sets for 2025. That happens around April or so, I guess.
Right.
Man, you can have a young lady make the Prince and J Sets and you never see on the 50-yard line of the field at halftime. You know why, Dukes?
What's that?
They got to try out before every game for that game.
Oh wow.
Just because you own the squad don't mean you get to go to the game. Like they have, okay, we are all J6, but peep game. We play Gremlin. It's Gremlin trials Wednesday and Thursday. And if you don't do
Mm.
perfectly, you ain't gonna be on the field Saturday. And so there's always this internal competition. And one thing y'all have learned from Coach Prime, the 2 of y'all I'm talking about, because y'all been around him, everything is a competition.
Mhm.
And I'm going to create situations where there's a competition because what does competition do? It creates the best for everybody else. The
Yeah.
reason Ford right now is doing the best they can on that damn assembly line, it's because that Nissan plant down the street.
Right.
If all you had to choose was for one manufacturer, hey man, cut corners, make that shit cheap as we can. Let's get these cars out of here. They ain't got no choice.
Mm-hmm.
But what does competition do? It benefits the consumer. And in this consumption, got the fan, the alumni base, people around the world who want to see that Big 12 championship. Coach Prime introducing this quote unquote competition. Cream gonna rise. Cream gonna rise.
Cream
Love
gonna
it.
rise to the top. Here's one of your creams that rose to the top right there. Dancing Jay says that's them.
Shit, the thrill of a million eyes. You better believe it. And that picture you just put up, it looked like it was on the field. She ain't know till midweek if she was gonna get that player time or not. Just because you on the team don't mean you on the squad.
It's definitely breeding competition right there. Well, Duke.
So I heard you, cuz.
Oh man, look, hey, ain't nothing like it. If God made something better than that in water, he kept it in heaven with himself because it ain't down here. Because when you got to have the water, ain't no substitute. And when you got to have that, ain't no substitute.
Hey man.
Ain't no substitute. You can try everything you want to, but ain't no substitute.
Hey man. But
He ain't
about
made
the
but
good
one.
Lord in it. Woo woo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, like I said before, you are now tuned into the morning run. Big Dog Chico, Duce the Scoop, and the badass Uncle Neely right here. Make sure y'all
Dukes, you
get
ever
the
wanted some
chat.
water?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about some water, Dukes.
yeah.
When we got tea, we got Gatorade. I need a glass of water.
Yeah.
When you want some water, you don't want nothing else.
Right.
I remember my brother used to say that, and he got me thinking like that too. He used to say, "Man, they're like some good old ice water."
And I'm telling you, I love
Yeah.
juice.
Especially
I
in the
love
South.
lemonade. I love Gatorade. I love all that stuff. But when it's water time,
Yeah.
no, dog, I need some water.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, bro. I don't want none of that other. Yeah.
No, I need some water.
Right.
I saw water on that screen. That's what I'm telling y'all. I love Chico get to smile. Chico one of them dudes. The bigger he smiled, the tighter his eyes closed. Like he can't smile at that big still be looking at you. So yeah, you know how he talk about he gonna turn invisible still on me. I'm gonna make him laugh and still on him. He won't see it coming.
Oh,
My hero right there,
I used to
Smitty,
do that
man.
to my mom when she used to give us whoopings. I found out if you laugh, she's silly enough, she'd laugh too, right? Unless she was unless she was real mad, right? So sometimes the laugh would work. She'd be like, and she'll stop. She'll, boy, you crazy. You know what I meant. But then you and then you try to laugh and it don't work, and she still keep hitting you.
Oh
You're like,
yeah.
hold up.
It didn't work at my house because you laugh my mom. Oh, they ain't good enough. Oh, okay, watch this. Then she gonna turn the buckle in towards
man.
you.
Yeah, that happened before too. So,
Yeah, I know it did. You from the South.
so blood everywhere. Damn.
Ain't no aiming. When that belt come out, ain't no aiming. It wherever you hit.
Shout out to my brother today. Man, I think today my brother's birthday too. Happy birthday, bro. Big brother Chad. I think it's his birthday. Yeah, it is. The 8th. It's your
Chad
birthday today,
Chico.
dog.
Happy birthday, Chad.
Yes, indeed.
Shout out to cousin Chad and my cousin too.
Chad know about that belt.
Chad know about that bath water too, though.
He does.
Well,
He does.
you know about that brick through the church?
I'm sure he does. Yes, I'm sure he does. He wasn't out there. He probably would have stopped me, but I'm sure he does.
That's a good big bro. That's a good big bro.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, that boy Chad, cousin Chad.
For sure. For sure. Appreciate y'all in the chat. Point guard. I'm past this ball to y'all. I got the rebound. Ugh. Kick it out. Duke.
Chico, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something before you pass it. Let me ask you something. Basketball
Sure,
question from
I
your
got
day.
it.
Because you had a role on your team.
Most definitely.
Everybody got a lane. And no disrespect, I'm sure your lane was not to get the rebound and advance the ball dribbling. But how many times did that point forward come out of you? You got that rebound, turn around and say, shit, I'm dribbling this son bitch all the way up court.
That was my thing. People,
No.
that
I
was
know
my
that was your
thing.
thing. I know it was your thing, but that
I
wasn't
did
the
it
game
well.
plan.
No, I did it well. I was like Magic on the break, and everybody do that. You better run the lane because I'm gonna dish it off, or I'm gonna go to the lane like Magic used to, off the glass for sure.
You like KD. Well, not you. You like Draymond when KD was like, "Hey, man, give me the ball." Draymond like, "No, I got it." It
It
went down
was
there.
those. It was It was those situations once or twice. Yeah,
Hey,
man.
that what KD said. I'm out of here.
Hey,
Well,
I
go ahead.
want to
Won
ask
some more
y'all too.
championships too. Go
What
ahead,
y'all
dude.
thought about the defense?
Damn, you took it out. I was just going to transition to there. I think that the
Well,
defense. Let Unc go
go ahead,
first. Go ahead,
Chico.
Unc. Oh, you go
Oh,
ahead.
well, I think that when you look at the scoreboard, you give a thumbs up. But when you look at the more technical issues, some of the yardage and some of the situations, I said in post game that I knew going to this week, we were going to have to focus and work on some tackling stuff because I know Coach Prime. I've been with him 6 seasons now, and sure enough, at the team meeting, he said, "Coaches, put some tackling drills in today," because we missed our fair share of tackles, and they ended up being big plays. And so, what you can't do is focus so much on the scoreboard and say we won and we won convincingly, because you're not going to be able to give up those kind of big plays, missed tackles down the road, and it not impact the scoreboard. You think about the big run where okay, Jeremiah and Ben came over and did their thing. 9 times out of 10, that's a score right there. And so the missed tackles, were a focus this morning. Going to be a focus the rest of this week, I'd imagine, because it was here's a word, Chico. It's kind of like doozy. It was a bugaboo. Bugaboo.
Oh, that was a song.
That is a song.
Okay.
Yeah, but the term existed before the song. The song was made after the term versus the term being made and the song being made. Yeah. Hey, man, speaking of songs being made from terms, I didn't know. I learned a fun fact today, just this morning.
What's that?
The song from School Days, Spike Lee joint, shout out to School Days, 40 Acres of Mule. The song by EU, The Butt, Spike Lee gave them the title before there was a song. He said, "Hey, working on this movie, I need a song called this.
Yeah.
And it needs to be like a go-go situation. Make it happen."
What about speaking of
Love that.
terms and song names, like Bootylicious when Beyonce came out with that, right? Did
Yeah,
y'all know
I
that
think
that was a
I
word
know.
already?
I didn't. I didn't know that.
Do y'all know who said it?
Who said it first? I wouldn't be surprised if it was you,
The
Chico, and I ain't
rhymes
even trying
that
to make
you
Snoop
no
kick, Ice
jokes.
Dogg.
Cube, not Ice
Snoop
Cube,
Dogg.
Snoop. Yeah, the rhymes that you kicking are quite.
It did
Bootylicious.
say booty. It did say bootylicious in there.
Good job, dude. My dog. He's
Yeah,
right
I
on
said
it.
Ice Cube. Yeah, Snoop. Yeah, I remember that.
I still say
Snoop
Snoop
ass
got it
nigga.
from Chico though, because
Probably
somewhere
did.
Snoop and Ray J was together. They were leaving the Kardashians. I know Chico can't talk about it, and Chico's like, "Man, that was bootylicious right there." And
Yep.
Snoop was like, "I like that."
And you know Ray J and Snoop's family, where they from? Home,
Mississippi.
Mississippi. Yep.
I ain't no Snoop
Could
from
be.
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad's down there building up property right now. He said, "Man, I'm getting
Hmm.
property for cheap down here. I just got a 18-acre land for $18."
Boy,
Damn.
dad's honorary Southside. Boy, they love it over here. We see
Yeah.
dads are corrupt all the time.
Actually, I think he's in Atlanta doing that for real. College might be in
College-
College Park for real.
I'm telling you, dads be out.
Damn.
He in the hood, like he tapped in.
Mm.
I'm gonna shoot y'all a link, or I'm gonna repost it. Another ATL, Daz, Snoop. Fun fact: sat down with Coach Prime one time at Jackson State, and he told me the story about how he was signed to Death Row, and that the Lady of Rage beat was his beat. Hey, Chico,
Yeah.
the faces I
Afro
be
Puff.
making. You know the faces I be making. He said, so I'm like, and what I do that for? Because then that Joker, he did his whole damn rhyme that was supposed to be on that track. He still
Yeah.
know it by heart.
Damn.
And my boy pay
That
attention
Afro
to
Puff,
detail.
Lady of Rage.
Yeah, he said that was his beat. And he
Wow.
said, Daz, helped him pen his verse. But he said, Neely, man, I was at the height of my endorsements at the time. And he said, I just couldn't be like publicly with Death Row. And then even just the name, forget the people, just the name, and have all these other relationships. So we never dropped it. He said, but yeah, he said they after I didn't, they gave that beat to Rage, and she put out her song.
Man, we gonna get
Mhm.
dads on here. That'd be
Gotta
hard.
get Daz on here.
We'll get dads.
Daz
Yeah,
Dillinger,
for
baby.
sure. I'm
Yeah.
gonna holler at
Yeah,
Big A.
dad. Shout out to Dad. He be with my partner. Man, we need to get C-Bone on here. I don't know if y'all know C-Bone from the song Kryptonite.
C-Bone, yeah, I know
Yeah, Black on
C-Bone.
C-Bone. Yeah, for sure. It's like that's damn near like Cam God Daddy. We'll get him on here for sure.
Oh.
Did you see Chico face? That was like asking him if he know Chad. He went, I know Chico. Man, I asked him to ride. But matter of fact, when Pastor Troy told me I couldn't get in, he let me ride with him that night. I rode with him.
Now C-Bone was in the back seat. He was like, man, I would have let him ride, but Pastor Troy just went ahead and pulled
Yeah.
off. But, yeah.
Now, hey, but as far as defensively, one thing I did look at, I want to see them give. I was watching how Thal was going off in the slot, and you know the wide receiver transfer. I forgot what Thal came from. Did he come from Michigan? Maybe? Yeah, Michigan.
Think, yeah.
And seeing Thal in that slot, I would have loved to see them give Preston High some inside leverage, right? Say, okay, like put him like because when you look at the slants that were given up and you look at some of those inside routes, it looked like he was playing them straight up. But this week, I know that Houston is looking at say, okay, when they go man, then we may want to exploit the slot. So I would like to see them give you some inside leverage and make them beat you somewhere else. So we'll see how that goes and see that's one thing I'll be looking for as far as the Houston game, how they play leverages on the slot.
Yeah, I like that, Dukes. I think if he was sitting here next to me, as quiet as he may be, or even the head coach himself, I think we all could say that Preston did not have his greatest game against Delaware, whether that was situational or what have you. So I'm certainly looking for a bounce back because that's just how he's built. You know, being senior leadership in there, understanding he has a draft status just like DJ McKinney. You know, and now just being a conference game is again one of those situations where introducing some competition, you know, from younger guys. What does that do, Chico? Chico, all right, I'm going to take this 90% to 100.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
Yeah. Give a shout out to Big Mike for the super chat right there. He said he was driving.
Big Mike having things.
Couldn't respond. I said the same thing to my wife, Coach Prime, in the voice of Shiloh Sanders. No, it's manufactured adversity.
Yeah, shout out to Shiloh for coining that phrase with me. It was doing strength and conditioning, and they had to do something over, and Shiloh just standing there smirking and said, "Lo, what's going on?" He said, "Dog, they just manufactured adversity. Didn't nobody mess up. They just got it." He said, "Man, I've been knowing my dad all my life. He do this stuff when I was growing up with him. He'll play like something went wrong just to make some competition. It's just manufactured adversity, dog. All we gotta do is just rise to the occasion, don't complain, get it over with."
That's dope. To even have that term in your head as a young guy to understand that shows he's been through some things with Coach Prime as his pops, for sure.
Yeah, I did want to say, man. I think last week I was talking about who's going to be that backside corner. Who do you trust? If you know what if you want to go DJ McKinney one side, or you want to let the safety come down in coverage, who do you trust to be on that backside as far as playing man coverage? And I thought RJ Johnson, when they tried to attack him going up the field, I think he acquitted for himself well. It was certain things that I was looking for in that game. Yeah. Who can you trust to play that if he has to play that deep third on his own, or if which turns into man if play side is where it's loaded. So I think he did a good job as far as that goes.
Yeah. And you know, Dukes, you've been in the film rooms, and Chico, you as well as a player. You know, they tell you as a QB, it's the same thing on the defensive side, which have you. They'll tell you which numbers, you know, are the guys. So avoid that guy. If you see number 8, avoid that guy. But if you see number this, that's somebody we can. And so you know that quarterback, his eyes lit up when he saw a younger dude out there now. I'm going to go with him. Wrong.
You know my favorite saying, you got the right plan with the wrong man. Hello.
Because he got that.
Yeah, RJ was able to get a pick right there. I think Preston actually made a good break on that pick that he got. So good job by RJ being in the right position and making the play out there. I think he did a good job. Tion started last game, so I think they're trying to rotate to find out who's going to be that guy opposite of DJ and just let them play and go with you can go with the hot man right there. You know, somebody's playing well, not playing well, you can bring them out and go right in right there. I think at cornerback, a little bit different than what you would do at quarterback position, though. Overall,
but it ain't much different. One thing about it, man, those positions where you on the island, where you're really like all lights are on you, when that ball goes up in the air and you over there and you look up and it's you and one other person and every step has to be right, your confidence and that and momentum has to be the same like a quarterback. Just to be honest. And once you lose,
Because if it's not, that's when you do a silly penalty because you think you got to. One
yeah,
beat, let me grab him. And you see that
Mhm.
same thing a lot on the defensive line, Chico and Dukes. You got a guy who jumped offside because he didn't trust his ability. He didn't trust his own speed. Like I got to get a perfect jump so I can beat this guy. When the truth is, I'm 50 pounds heavier, two tenths of a second faster. I can just bulldoze this dude. Like I don't have to jump off sides on 3rd and 4 and get him a first down. Like I can be patient and trust my ability. And that's part of that confidence, those game reps, seeing what you do in practice. And that way, going through these manufactured adversity situations, that way you rise to the occasion and when you have this belief in yourself. One of the things Coach Prime always says, it's in the hallway down here. The man don't try to be the man because the man is the man. You wouldn't be in this room if I didn't believe in you, no matter what your position is. You wouldn't be in here if I didn't believe in you. So take that and believe in yourself. Bet he said, because he'll tell you, he said, I'm gonna bet on me every time. You got to get that way with yourself. Bet on you every time. Why are you betting on your opponent? Why are you
Black
betting on
21, baby.
somebody else to succeed? Bet on yourself, invest in yourself, do the work, and have the confidence in yourself that you're not worried about the matchup because you betting on you. Because I'm gonna tell you
Black
this, Dukes.
21.
I'm
Black
gonna tell you this,
21.
Chico. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now. There's a lot of TV stations out there. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm gonna bet on the morning run.
hello.
I'm betting on Duce Chico. I'm betting on neither. Like that's why we do, because we believe in ourselves and believe what we bring to the table. Why else are we worried about? Well, oh man, let's not do it right now because such and so on. She is. They need to be on there
Yeah,
saying, "Man, the morning run on. We don't need to be on right now."
right. There you go. I think it.
It applies to all facets of life, y'all. It ain't just football.
Hey, also on the defense, want to give a shout out to the guy who I thought Uncle Neely was calling. That's Jeremiah Brown, who
Big
coming
game.
in there, made a huge play. When I was calling it live, I think it was 4th down, and I said, because previous possession, they scored, and I felt like our linebackers just sat there and was trying to catch instead of going to be aggressive. And then Jeremiah was subbed in, and I said, whoever the linebacker is right here need to go play on the other side of the ball. I didn't even finish the sentence because they snapped the ball and Jeremiah was already in the backfield hitting him in the mouth. So that's what I would like to see at the linebacker position more times than not, is a guy, just anticipating the play and seeing it and trusting what he sees and going after and shooting that gap rather than letting the running back come to him and he's giving the blow in the gap. Nah, dog, get on the other side of the ball and hit the quarterback, get a tackle for loss. I think he did a great job of that last game this past week, and also hustling down the field to create that cutback. So shout out to Jeremiah Brown. Martavius French also played well, sideline to sideline, covering the back out of the backfield. So shout out to the linebackers for doing their thing.
Chico, you broke that down so expertly and eloquently. I'm not even trying to add to it. I'm just going to co-sign it like we at the car lot. We're trying to get you that track off. But I do want to say this, globally speaking, particularly to the fans, the chats, or whoever's watching this later on. Treat the linebacker situation like the quarterback situation.
Mm.
Ain't nobody doubting Reggie Hughes or French because of what JB went out there and did. I'm not going to sit here and doubt Salter or Juju because of what Staub went out there and did. Like, this team has depth. That depth is going to show itself. And the beauty of that depth is when somebody is down, whether it's a bad game or a nagging injury or the flu bug just going around, don't matter what it is, have the confidence that, damn, not only do we have a next man up, our next man up is equal to or even in situations greater than the guy that went down. I don't see the problem in that, Dukes. Like, I see the opportunity in that.
Yeah, well, you got guys, man. I tell you what, Cam team, they went out and they played the state champs, right? And in that league, they in that private school league. And I think Cam got about 20 people on their team. They got 40. And they rotate. And so when middle school ball, you usually have 2 or 3, maybe 4 guys that can really play, right? And the rest of the team is just, you just try to figure out how to get everybody on the field. Well, this team had about 9 guys who could play. And they rotated them. You know how much more dangerous that team was to know that they had 9 guys that could play ball, a corner that'll come up a hit, a D lineman that's really good, a safety, and our team maybe has 3-4 guys that you trust. Well, they start to rotate those guys. And so in the third and fourth quarter, what happens when you've got multiple guys who can play? You're basically like you're playing 2-on-1 because your guys who are going both ways they're tired by that time. And then also mentally, what happens when you say, okay, watch out for one, and then 7 comes in the game, and 7 is just as talented. So one's not in the game. Okay, run it that way. No, you just run into somebody who has a similar skill set, or he does something different than what one does. So yeah, when you have multiplicity when it comes to talent level at positions, it definitely makes it makes an impact.
And especially Duke's numbers wise as we travel. Like we're going to play Houston where? In Houston. Houston likely to have 100 jokers dressed over there. We ain't bringing but 74. Like we don't have, when you get on the road, you don't have time for wasted motion. And that's one of the things, again, I was complimenting Chico, and he thought I was finna diss him, but I was like, dude, you telling me you traveled to a bowl game in Hawaii injured? That lets me know how valuable you were to that team. Like even though you couldn't physically participate, you were an extension of the coaching room out there. And so when you get ready to go on the road, man, and you have a limited roster you travel with, everybody that go got to matter and got to bring something to the table. And what Delaware game helps you do, because you went on and did your job and did it in a quote unquote dominant fashion, you got to evaluate. I think he in the 74 now. I think he in the 74 now. Oh, I think he's out of the 74 now. So you're going to go on the road, arguably, with the most information you've had. You've played 2 games, had live bullets flying at you, fall camp behind you, et cetera, et cetera. Them 74 to get on that plane, all are going to help you win that game.
Let me throw another log on that fire, real quick.
Now you throw it on there. I'm telling you, my granddaddy told me. Now you throw it on there, you got to poke it. He used to sit there in front of fire in that rocket chair with that poker. He said, "Let me tell you something.
Dude, you wild.
Anybody can start a fire, but only real man can poke it to keep it going."
That's right. I miss my bonfires back in the South. With
poke that thing, Chico. I'm listening. Poke it,
boys. Shout out to my guys in the South. But I wanted to ask you this, or I want to add this to it actually, because Duke's is saying about how the other team has to prepare for it. Multiple guys who can really play in just different styles. Once this guy come in and that guy come in, let me pivot real quick and ask about this, because this is some different styles that Canelo will have to prepare for, because Bud can easily switch from southpaw, in orthodox, like in between, like bam, just back and forth. How can Canelo prepare for that? Will he be ready for that? And who do y'all have winning this fight?
Man, if it's me, I think Canelo, basically, I think you try to bully him. And with that being said, is lean on him. Don't let him get started. Like they say, when you got a runaway freight train, the best way to stop it is to not let it get started. So when you talk about 2 guys who have very different walk around weights, I think that Canelo, if he had, and you're at this question is not asking me who I think is going to win. This is asking me, how can Canelo win, right? Or how can he deal with Crawford's multiple styles, right? So what I'm saying is, I think that what you got to do is you got to stop him from getting started. Don't even let him feel like he's orthodox. Don't even let him feel like he's going southpaw. Man, get on top of him. Make sure that you stay within distance, and then you use your distance and you use your ability to keep him at bay when you want to, and when he looks like he starts to get started, smother him. Man, I mean, go to the grass. Like, there are a lot of things that you could do, in my opinion, with that walk around size advantage to keep Crawford from getting loose. And I think that's what you got to do. You got to use that size advantage, because when you look at it as far as what the weights that they're used to fighting at, Terrence Crawford probably once he regains his water weight, he probably has the biggest gap of a lot of people. Like, his walk around versus what he cuts down to, his cut weight is way different than his walk around. So I think that difference is something that a lot of people make too much of, but it's still a difference. And Canelo probably could have went up by now, to be honest. Like, he was always more of a thicker guy, so he probably could have went up. So I think if you smother him, you lean on him, that's the way. Outside of that, I'm not sure how you really stop a Crawford, in my opinion.
I don't think Canelo has seen anybody this talented since Mayweather, and we saw what happened there. Of course, he was way younger then, got a lot more experience now, but I do think Bud's going to present something that he has never seen before. You know, being able to switch back and forth in the middle of a round in the split
How
of
you
round.
how you think Canelo can basically deal with that? How can what are the keys to victory for Canelo?
Shit, is it?
I
Hey
think
man,
Dukes, like we were
hey,
saying about this football situation, the more somebody has to prepare for, the less they prepare for what they want to do. Right. And so, but I think that, and I'm a Bud guy, so let me say that as much as I'm gonna try to articulate this and saying how Canelo can win, I'm actually pulling for Crawford to win. Having said that, there's a lot of times in situations or in statistical probabilities, there's a certain situation that manifests that happening that you can even up your odds. So, like for instance, I can sit here and tell you that a team is 67% pass, right? That
Mhm.
means 33% of the time that they're running. Well, if I go deeper into that 67% and I look at the down and distance, I can increase that 67% to like 99 based on what they have done before because of the sample size. Here's that term again, Dukes. You make it me and Chico. I don't care if it's the morning run or Uncle Chico. We have put enough shows out there that scientifically you could say by the 6 minute mark, they start arguing. By the 8 minute mark, they start arguing when it's about this subject. Like, samples matter, statistics matter. And so I think what Canelo can do is, yeah, this dude can switch up styles on me. Here's where I'm going with all that to say this. Yes, this dude switches up styles on me, but based on all the film I've watched, he switches during these situations. So how do I prevent him from switching? Don't give him that situation. Like, don't let
Yeah.
him control it. Don't put him in a position where he dictates it because I handed that to him. It's almost like running the ball here in Colorado or stopping the run, when you're on defense. It's not so much about the run leading to a score. It's so much more about the run eating up so much clock. And if one team has the ball more, that team tends to win because they're taking away opportunities. So what Canelo has to do is flip that. I got to take away Bud's opportunities. I got to take away his opportunities to switch. I got to make the
Mhm.
switch uncomfortable because if I sit back and let him do that, he gonna tear my ass up.
Mhm.
I think sparring is key, and I think if you watch the special that's on Netflix right now, he's sparring with a young guy who can switch back and forth. And I think if you just get comfortable with that, seeing that in front of you, because it's not normal. He'll find ways that he can get behind that defense and penetrate the defense, should I say, of Crawford. But I think it's kind of like stopping the run. If you're a defense and you're going into a game knowing that this team is going to try to run on you, and what do I always say about stopping the run? It's a mindset thing, dog. If Bud's going there with that mindset of this is not just a payday, like we saw the last guy who fought Canelo, he just ran around the whole time. If Bud
Charlo.
going there, what's his name? Was it again?
Charlo.
Charlo, one of them. I
Yeah,
think
one
he
of the
just
Charlo
ran most
brothers.
of the time.
He when he went in there, he was just trying to survive. After a while,
He
he
was just
kind of
trying to
checked
survive.
out. Yeah.
Right. And I think he was just trying to get the paycheck and like you said, survive. I don't think Bud is gonna go in there with that mindset. As a matter of fact, I think that you also get a bonus if you knock out your guy in this fight with Dana White on the promotion side. So there's incentives also for knocking out your guy, but then that opens you up to get knocked out too. So this could be a good fight with a lot of action because of the way it's set up and the mindset that these guys go in there with. Because I don't think Bud is going
Well,
there to lay down.
and I love that, Chico. I love whenever you bring up mindset because I love adding on that log of mindset, comma, then execution. Because there's one thing to do it, there's another thing to get it done. And what both of these guys have going, quote unquote, if I have lack of a better term against them, this is one of those fights, man. If Canelo don't get it done, this is his last fight. Like, ain't no promoter finna sit here and keep doing this shit. And like if Bud wants more fights, more paydays, like he's got to go out there and demonstrate that I put on a show, I entertain. I know I'm getting a little long in the tooth as well, and I got more fights behind me. I got ahead of me, but I can get you, Joe Promoter, 5 more big paydays. Like, so both of them have a vested interest in not only just performing but performing well, because neither one of them is coming into this saying, "Hey, this is my last fight." And
Right.
so you have to put on the kind of performance that makes a network like Netflix, a promoter like Dana White, guys like the Morning Run sit up and talk about you based on your performance. Like how we talked about the Bills and the Ravens 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they do last night? Don't matter about the outcome. They lived up to the conversation.
Right.
Like that
Well,
thing went down to the clock hit 0.
well, the
Yeah, I
clock is about to
mean,
hit 0 on this show, but we're gonna
now
give our
real quick.
prediction before we get out of here too.
Now, real quick, I just wanted to say too, man. I don't think you can make enough about Bud never fought at 160,
Mm-hmm.
and so he damn sure ain't never fought at 168. So what he's doing, going up 2 weight classes, and he didn't even tune up going to these. Like usually when guys like ramp up, they go up the first weight class and then they go up another one before they get
Yeah.
there. I'm gonna tell you one thing about it. We all talk about how hard Bud gets hit. He hasn't been hit in a boxing match by somebody like Canelo ever.
So Dukes, to underscore that, and Chico and I talked about this last night, and I had to get my AP physics lesson. I said, hey man, the bigger thing moving faster than the smaller thing moving slower is going to win. It's why your car hits a deer, the deer go flying. Same thing this past game we had against Delaware. Our offensive line on average outweighed them by 50 pounds. At some point, physics is going to come to play. We all equal first quarter. But how long can you lift my weight plus me and my 50 in the fourth quarter? And so you're exactly right. If Canelo, that train you talk about, if he gets going with that weight and how he carries that weight, it could be problematic. So it's the reverse for Bud. Like, I can't let him get going.
Right. I think the skill. This is what I think. I'll leave it alone because we've been talking about this. I think Bud, if he boxes and doesn't fight, I think he wins easily. But you just
I
don't want to
love
get
that.
if you just don't want to get it. But Bud likes to fight. By the time you done piss Bud off, you in a fight. But if he can stay boxing and doesn't get caught up in the size advantage that Canelo has, then you're gonna be fine because it's not like a huge height advantage where he's going up against like a Deontay Wilder or somebody 6'6". Shoot, I think Bud might be taller than Canelo.
He actually is, and his reach
Yeah,
is longer. I think it's 74 inches to 70 and a half.
Yeah, he's just not bigger. You summed it up right, Dukes and Chico. Like he is taller, he is longer. He's just not bigger.
Right.
And to your point, Dukes, that's what I've been telling Chico as we get ready to wrap up out of here. And when you're moving up weight classes, you may want to turn invisible and fight somebody else first before you turn invisible and fight me. Because this is a weight class you don't want.
Unless you got the skills that pay the bills, like Bud Crawford does. You understand me?
Right.
Hey, we'll give our predictions on Friday. How about that? Friday to Saturday. We'll do it on Friday. We'll give our prediction for the Houston, Colorado game on Friday morning.
Yeah, because we got a morning run on game day. We'll be live from Houston from the team hotel on game day. So let's rock out.
All right.
And tomorrow is Tuesday, so we got Coach Prime's weekly presser tomorrow. So you don't want to miss that. Catch it live on the morning run.
Yes, and damn D. Y'all want to leave with something before we get up out of here?
I just want to leave it with a little Chico appreciation, man. I like you, Chico. You're a good dude.
Am I supposed to say that? I'm supposed to say it back to be courteous. You're right. I like you
you're
too.
Supposed to say thank you. You're supposed to
thank
you. Like you're supposed to
thank you very much.
I'm trying to learn you, as we say in Mississippi, learn you how to say thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Uncle Daly. Thank you.
Chico funny, man.
Yeah, he's funny, but he's the reason why I'm glad I didn't mean it.
Well, don't say it if you mean it, big dog.
I'm just trying to, man. I'm manufacturing diversity, dog. I'm trying to get you something, man.
Chico expected the setup, man. Anyways, hey, thank y'all for coming out. We appreciate each and every last one of y'all runners for joining us right here on the morning run. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and that goes across the nation. For Dukes in Atlanta, for Unc in Boulder, Big Dog Chico out here in the ocean. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great damn day. He said the Middle East. We up and about his thing. Yeah,
Well, you hell.